Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Aquarius energy. We'll get a few of these cards out, we'll get some clarifiers on it to fill out the story of what might be going on in Aquarius energy. And keep in mind, it's not a personal reading, so I'm going to tell you all the different stories I see in there of how different people can harness their Aquarius energy. If you're high vibe Aquarius, you are someone who uses your mind, your intellect, your voice to move your life and your relationships forward from a foundation of love and self love, treating others as you would like to be treated, being just and fair, being disciplined within yourself so that you don't tip into your shadow side of fear and insecurity and selfishness and greed. And Aquarius energy is about being a humanitarian too, being willing to think outside the box, seeing things from a higher perspective, having hope and faith and belief in healing. And people who are in shadowy Aquarius energy, they don't think outside the box. They don't see things from a higher perspective. And they might use their mind, their intellect, and their ideas and their voice in order to look like a shining star in the 3D world. It's more about them, their image, their status, materialism, greed, selfishness. And then, of course, we've always just got the people who are emotionally self defensive. They present the illusion in relationships that they're open and honest and loving and committed and all those things. But if you're so emotionally defensive to being emotionally vulnerable in a relationship, you're being very selfish and greedy and creating an illusion in a relationship. You create the illusion you're willing to move forward with people, but when push comes to shove and people have to quit being so emotionally defensive, they'll maybe take some reckless action to end the relationship. Before the reading, I also got out some Dark Shadow of the Soul Oracle, and the one that you got was heartless, brutal, unloving, harsh. And the reason is it came flipped over in the middle of the deck. So we have two reasons: envious and ashamed. Envious says desiring, resentful, disconnected with self, and ashamed, guilty, humiliation, regretful. So definitely some characteristics of people who are narcissists. Um, you could, oh, there's a really good YouTube video website called Raw Motivations by a 30 something guy. He looks like he is married, but he is going to counseling because he does realize he is a narcissist. And he talks about it and tries to help people understand when they're dealing with narcissists and how narcissists feel and why they act the way they do. And it could be envious. One of the reasons it came up was envious and ashamed for the reason that they're kind of heartless. People who are really emotionally defensive, um, they're not offering themselves the things that they need to become emotionally balanced. They're not offering themselves the love, the compassion, the forgiveness, tapping into their emotions, listening to their intuition. And so they are very self protective, excuse me, operating from their shadow side of fear, insecurity, um, self limiting beliefs, which we all do. We all have those things, But if you're really emotionally defensive and you haven't learned to realize that, we're not children anymore, we need to love and nurture ourselves and treat ourselves with encouragement and belief in ourselves and kind of like be our best mother, father, coach voice in our own head. And if people don't do that and they create an illusion in a relationship that they're loving and kind and open and honest and all those things, and they know they're not, and they know that they're very defensive, yeah, they're probably not feeling very proud of themselves. And so then your self esteem goes down and it just ends up being a downhill slide. So, what do we have here? We have the High Priestess reversed, Two of Wands, King of Pentacles, Three of Cups. And the reason for the reading is the Tower card and the Ace of Cups. Some people, hopefully you and your friends and your coworkers and your friend group and your loved ones and your family members, hopefully you all harness high vibe Aquarius energy. And if you do, you and all the other high vibe Aquariuses in the world, there could have been a major disruption in your life with the Tower card. Light was shed on the fact that people need to move forward in love. Light could have been shed that someone else's foundation is very unstable. They don't come from a foundation of love. We either build our life on love and hope and faith and belief, and we try to treat others as we want to be treated. We believe in ourselves. We believe in our dreams. We want to be in relationships with people that we love. And people who don't do that are building their life on illusion, and they're building their life on fear or insecurity, and they're getting into relationships for those reasons, codependency, insecurity, or they're just very worldly focused, and the whole point of getting into a relationship is pride, ego, money, image, status. And they create the illusion in the relationship that it's for love, but it's really driven by factors other than love. So some of you could have experienced a major disruption in your life. And the high priestess in reverse can be that the high priestess in the upright is the holder of secrets. Some secrets could have come to light. You could have offered love to the situation and whoever this might have been in your life for them to move forward in love. You wanted people to, in the Two of Wands, to dream of what the future could be. In Aries energy, to be bold, to be confident, to be brave, to trust the universe, to take a leap of faith. Focus on the future and what could be instead of fearful of the future and what it might bring. Where people dream of being a King of Pentacles, male or female, those are people who take action in the world to nurture themselves, grow themselves, mature themselves. That way they can nurture and grow other people that they invest in. So if it's a love connection or a family dynamic, they're very stable and grounded. It's Capricorn energy, where you put in hard work and effort in the 3D world, investing your time, energy, and effort in the Three of Cups, which is Cancer energy, to work together with people from an emotional foundation of love, self-love, respect, encouragement, support. So if you were in a relationship with someone who some secrets were revealed, light was shed on something unhealthy about their foundation, where that foundation is not sufficiently stable to last long term the way it was operating. And if people were being secretive, some people could have been hiding the fact that they always dreamed of being a King of Pentacles, more in a worldly sense. About Capricorn in a shadowy sense can be about, I want to build a legacy in the world. I want to put in the hard work and effort to have the status and the image and the money and materialism. And some people's dream is to be that type of person. And then they just kind of emotionally indulge themselves in the relationship. It's not really working from an emotional foundation to mature themselves and grow themselves so that they can nurture others. It was more about their image, their status, having money, having materialism. And working together with others is not, it's just kind of like a byproduct of being in a relationship with people. But if they were more about a triangulated type relationship, that's where that third emotional cup is the energy of their pride or their ego or their worldly nature or their fear or their insecurity or their emotional defensiveness. If people's underlying foundation for making decisions in their life is status and image and money and materialism, that's more of our worldly nature instead of our divine nature of emotions and love and intuition. For some of you, it could have been revealed that someone's dream was to be more about worldliness and maybe some of them dreamed of a Capricorn or a King of Pentacles that they wanted to be in a relationship with, because that person would give them that image, that status, that money, that materialism, that stability and security that they maybe don't believe that they could manifest on their own. And even though you might be stable and grounded and loving and nurturing and all those things, you operate from a foundation of love. And this other person could operate more from, looking at relationships as something, again, for them to indulge in emotionally, not for them to nurture. Not that they come from an emotional foundation within themselves. Sometimes people who view themselves as the King of Pentacles, male or female, they could feel like, I have things that the world values and wants. Look at me. I do have image. I do have status. I have a certain look about me, or I have a certain amount of money, regardless of if a person might be in debt up to their eyeballs. By worldly standards, they look like they're king of the world. And they think that because they have that, they don't have to work on their foundation. They don't have to tap into their emotions or their intuition or come from a foundation of love. They think because they have those things that people in the world view as valuable, again, looks, money, image, status, they think other people will just work together with them emotionally. And if you were in a relationship with someone like that, who, if they're kind of in shadowy Capricorn energy, that is all about, it can be about being toxic, selfish, greedy, emotionally defensive, prideful, egotistical. And some light could have been shed on that. And if you were in a relationship with someone and that relationship ended, you people who are intuitive, because high priestess energy also can be about Cancer, Pisces energy in the high vibe, where people are connected in with their emotions and their intuition. And for one, you could realize that the person, you left their life, for one, is what you're doing right now. And some people are willing to let you go out of their life because they reject that within themselves. And what you reject inside of you is what you reject outside of you. And if they don't connect in with Cancer, Pisces, emotional water sign energy of love and home and family and self-love and listening to your intuition and tapping into your dreams and your imagination to guide you forward, this person was willing to let you go. And right now they could be letting you go out of their life. Like the decision's done. It's like, nope, I'm not doing love. I will bring down a foundation of love, because their dream is to be a partner to a third party, or their dream is to be king of the world and find people who will work together with them emotionally, whoever that is. They just don't want to move forward from a foundation of love. So let's go look at the clarifiers, and hopefully most of you aren't dealing with anyone like that. And also keep in mind with the Aquarius energy, you could be dealing with an Aquarius sun sign, and they could be the one harnessing kind of shadowy Aquarius energy. And you could be the one harnessing high vibe Aquarius energy, because we can all tap into those traits and characteristics. But hopefully you and your friends, you're letting go of people who are secretive and in their Leo energy of the Seven of Wands we're defensive to being open and upfront. They do operate more from pride and ego. They are defensive. Queen of Swords is also Aquarius energy. They could be defensive to speaking their emotional truth. They are defensive to turning their back on their past patterns of behavior. They are people who, they're not ready to move forward in their life, because in order to move forward in your life, you've got to learn some lessons about yourself. Get out of your pride, your ego, your self-defensiveness. You have to be willing to speak your truth and face the future with your truth up. And the truth is what's worth investing in if it's not from love. But some people are defensive to people who want them to move forward and speak their truth or live their life seeing things from a higher perspective, stepping outside of societal norms. People who are very worldly based, that's like a big sin to step outside of worldly norms. It's like it's all about conforming to the world. We have to maintain our image and status. And, instead of living our unique individual life that we were meant to live, we have to conform to worldliness. And it could have been revealed that, this person operates more from pride and ego. They're defensive to speaking their emotional truth. They're defensive to seeing life from a higher perspective. And so because of that, they're willing to let you leave their life, and you're willing to leave their life because you are someone who harnesses high vibe Leo energy. You are someone who's taken the creative action in your Leo nature and your Aquarius nature to see life from a higher perspective, to believe that there's more to life than money and image and status. We all want stability and security in our life, but it's not the driving factor of your life. Love and being in loving, creative, inspired, passionate relationships is your driving nature. It's not like, I'm going to go hang out with those people because it's good for my image or status. It's like, no, I don't want to hang out with people that I don't enjoy their company just because of image or status. You took the creative action to rise above your own inner conflict and your competitive nature in the 3D world to see the truth that we're meant to rise above our worldly, beastly nature and see life from a higher perspective. And you don't want to keep repeating patterns of the past that might be based on pride and ego. You want to move forward in your life. Our soul is always kind of calling us to, start that new project, try that new job, pursue those things that you have a unique, creative, inspired interest in and face the future. Be bold, be brave, be confident. You're someone in your Aries energy who is bold and confident. And when you feel inner conflict, you dream of what the future could be and you take creative, inspired action about it because you are someone in the World card who's willing to learn your lessons, willing to emotionally step forward out of your comfort zone into a new phase of life, being emotionally vulnerable. And some people never dreamed of doing that. They turn their back on dealing with that. Some people are very competitive in the world, with the world. It's all about, in Five of Wands, kind of shadowy Leo energy, to compete in the 3D world. It's about my image and my status and money and materialism. Isn't that why we're here? Well, it is if you think it is. Some people have a lot of inner conflict about learning the lessons they were meant to learn, because part of the lessons, I think, that we continually shed layers of illusion away from our eyes is realizing how important love is in our life and to nurture the relationships that we have with people. It's not about emotionally manipulating them to get what we want. It's not about being selfish and greedy and being competitive in a relationship to get what we want. We're supposed to dream of our future, deal with our inner conflict that we have so that we can learn the lesson we were meant to learn. And some people have a lot of inner conflict of learning their lessons. If they're emotionally defensive, if they operate more from their mind and pride and ego and worldliness than love and hope and faith and belief in love and their dreams, they're going to have a lot of inner conflict. And it looks like, the World card talks about a cycle ending. This person doesn't want to deal with their inner conflict and learn their lessons. They maybe don't want change. I think they say that's one of the biggest fears of human beings is change. So when the people in shadowy Aquarius dream of their future, it's always to repeat patterns of the past because they know how to do that. They know how to play that game. They know how to be successful that way. And the thought of being emotionally vulnerable and stepping outside the box to do something new causes them a lot of inner conflict in their prideful, egotistical Leo nature. But even though it caused you a lot of inner conflict to maybe let this relationship go, if the people you're with are defensive to speaking their emotional truth, and they're maybe prideful and egotistical, and light was shed, and this person was defensive to letting go of their old ways of being in order to move forward from a foundation of love, well, you can only do so much. The universe works through you. You provided a situation that was kind and respectful and encouraging and loving. And if people keep choosing to reject listening to their intuition, reject speaking their emotional truth, keep being prideful or defensive, eventually all it does is cause conflict and fighting, and that's no way to live. And sometimes we just got to see the truth that some people are very competitive in the 3D world, very prideful or egotistical or worldly focused, and not so much love focused. And we found out we were working with someone that we weren't evenly yoked with, So, in King of Pentacles energy, Capricorn, and Three of Pentacles is Capricorn, you high vibe people took action in the world. You had learned the lesson you were meant to learn. And you are working on a new foundation to take creative, inspired action forward in the Eight of Wands, which is Sagittarius energy, which is about looking at life as an adventure to be lived, taking creative action to educate yourself about higher belief systems and higher education, about philosophy and belief systems to wrap your brain around this confusing game of life that we're in, When we find out that the people we thought were going to put work and effort into working cooperatively with us and move forward with us, and they decided to be defensive to speaking the truth and defensive to seeing things from a higher perspective, that's difficult. But we take grounded, practical action to invest our time, energy, and effort to work together in our own foundation to take creative action forward, and to work together with others who are willing to take creative, inspired action forward. And the person you could have known in your life is right now deciding, again, they want to be more worldly focused, and they want to work together with people who want to take action in that manner also. Someone who's more aligned with how they view life. And they view life in a very worldly way, with kind of a little more shadowy focused Capricorn energy. They might want to take action towards a third party who, in the Chariot card, looks very successful, like they're moving forward very successfully. They might feel that this person is very loving, because both the Chariot card and the Three of Cups is Cancer energy. And they're going to communicate to the third party that they want to move forward. They might communicate to them that either that they feel stuck, because the Pisces hangman can be about feeling stuck, or they might communicate to them that they've seen things from a new perspective and they've let go of an old foundation and are ready to move forward in a new emotional beginning with this person. But the reason, if they're in shadowy Aquarius energy, the reason they're even getting involved in this relationship is because they know if they work together with this person in a relationship, it will make them look like they're moving forward in a very successful manner, because this person feels stuck. They might even be communicating with this person that they want to have a new emotional beginning with them, because they are operating from their pride and ego and they're trying to prove a point. Maybe to the positive people in their life who laugh that, haha, look, I got a new relationship. It's like, you go. I hope you, operating from your pride and ego, have better luck this time. Um, the hangman card is the universe trying to make us see ourselves and the world from a new perspective so we can become enlightened and let go of those old ways of being, of fear or insecurity or pride and ego, or thinking our life just is about money and materialism. The thing that makes us most valuable isn't what we own, it isn't what we drive, it isn't the amount of money we have in the bank. It's our hidden realm. It's our emotions, our thoughts, our ideas, the things that light us up, the things that bring us joy. Those are things that the divine gave us, not the world. But some people just refuse to see life from that perspective. And the Pisces hangman can be, I refuse to see life from any other perspective. I think I can do things my way. I think I will look very successful in the 3D world. And I'm just going to do things my way. I am going to keep being unstable. The universe can keep offering me love. The universe can keep trying to tell me it's about love, and I refuse to do it. Because part of that would require that they deal with their own inner conflict, that they let go of what they've been hiding, which is maybe that they have operated more from pride and ego. Because we're either doing love or we're saying, I don't have to do love. I don't have to be emotionally vulnerable. I can have all the worldly abundance operating from my pride and ego. And yeah, you can have all the worldly abundance from pride and ego. But you can have a lot more in your life, true abundance, loving, deep, emotionally connected, passionate, inspired relationships if you were to listen to your intuition, tap into your emotions, take bold, confident, brave action in your life to step into the spotlight of your own life. Quit making your life more about how people perceive you and being more worried about that than living your life authentically. But some people might just be defensive to speaking their truth. Maybe they're afraid if they spoke the truth about what they truly would dream of doing in their life. Maybe they're afraid there's people in their life that would have a problem with that. And people who don't come from a foundation of love within themselves, to believe in themselves and stand up for themselves, to defend the right to live their own life, those people could be very codependent on other people in their life. And if those people, if they fear that those people would have a conflict with this person moving forward in their life, some of them have decided, I won't change, I won't learn, I won't grow. I'll keep doing things the way I've always done it. I will continue to be someone who operates more from the world than from love. I will keep maintaining a certain status and image in the world and not live my authentic life. And I will communicate to other people in the world who maybe operate, the 3 of Cups were meant to be aligned with love. That would be a 2 of Cups relationship. I'll work together with people who've let a third party interfere with their life. That's like listening to the devil on your shoulder, which is kind of like the world, which is also represented by Capricorn energy in a shadowy manner. So basically, they've let the world, or their pride, their ego, their fear, their insecurity, their concern about image and all that stuff, interfere with a loving relationship within themselves. And they've decided, I will communicate to a third party that I'm willing to move forward. And we will move forward in a relationship operating from pride and ego. And we will let go of operating from a foundation of love. You high vibe people are going to work from an emotional foundation within yourself to get yourself in the driver's seat of your own life. That's the difference between you and people that kind of operate more from their shadow nature or fear, insecurity, or emotional self-defensiveness. You work from an emotional foundation within yourself of self-love to get yourself in the driver's seat of your own life so that you can take the reins of your free will, the black horse and the white horse or sphinx there, so that those things aren't driving your life off into the ditch. We all have this dualistic nature. We all have our worldly wants, dreams, lust, greed, selfishness, emotional defensive nature within us. But if we offset that with love and compassion and our dreams for the future, so that our worldly nature, our selfish nature, our prideful nature doesn't dominate our life, we're balanced from a place of love. Because the Chariot card is Cancer energy also, of love and home and family and self-love. And when you're emotionally balanced, that's when you can truly have victory in your life, because the Chariot card's about having victory. We can all get in a relationship to make it look like, oh, look at me, I'm in a relationship, or I got a new job, look at me, I'm so successful and victorious. And by worldly standards, people might look at you that way and look at you as being victorious. But unless you're emotionally balanced within yourself and you believe in your dreams and you're living your life authentically and you're being open and authentic with who you are, you really don't have true victory in your life. If you don't do that, you're living from pride and ego, and you're rejecting listening to your intuition and choosing to operate more from pride and ego and be emotionally defensive to your own dreams, fearful that other people will have a problem with you being stable and grounded and abundant. High vibe Capricorn energy is about putting in the hard work and effort to free yourself from your worldly, beastly nature of pride, ego, image, status, fear, insecurity. High vibe Capricorn energy is about living a life of freedom so you're not enslaved to the world, where you can be open and honest and loving, and you can have true victory in your life, where your inner child nature of Page of Wands, of hope and faith and belief, is willing to see yourself and the world and what's possible from a new perspective. And you're willing to let go of those old ways of being in order to move forward in love and self-love. So, if you're dealing with someone who is like a narcissist, they try, anybody in their shadow side who isn't being emotionally open and vulnerable and honest and working together with you to nurture the relationship, if you're not being loving, you're being emotionally manipulative, and people try to use the love that you have for them against you. They don't want to move forward the way you want to move forward in love, because that would require they stand up for themselves against people in their life that they feel would have a problem with that. They're defensive to speaking their emotional truth. So they try to make you do life the way they want to do it, which is everything staying the same. Where you quit listening to your intuition, you operate from pride and ego, and you both be emotionally defensive to speaking the truth. Because speaking the truth could cause conflict. And so if you're in a relationship with someone who's especially kind of like a narcissist, if you want to bring down old ways of being to move forward in love, the person at first, well, they're disconnected from their emotions and they're not listening to their intuition and their higher self. It's kind of like, no, I've rejected that. There is no higher truth except the world. And so initially they become defensive to you, and then they could become emotionally cold to you. If that doesn't work, then they dream of what action they can take next to cause you a lot of inner conflict, because they want you to stop doing what you're doing. They might want to still be in a relationship with you because you're loving and you're nurturing and you're kind and all those things, but they don't want to move forward in a positive way. Some of them dream of putting an end to the conflict and fighting by deciding to communicate to a third party And in their Pisces emotional energy, they're being stubborn and prideful and egotistical to prove a point. Basically communicating to you that if you want to work from an emotional foundation and you want this person to put in the work and effort to get balance within themselves, they'll operate from their pride and ego. And they will let go of the relationship with you to have a new emotional beginning with a third party, hoping that will destabilize you and your foundation so much that you will decide to offer them a new emotional beginning. And for some of you, they've been doing this and you're not. And this person now could feel stuck. It's like, well, shoot, that didn't work. Because you high vibe people are like, no, I offer you love if you're willing to detach from your old foundational ways of being. Four of Pentacles is like Capricorn energy. Five of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles is about holding back, not working together cooperatively, being stubborn, not willing to move forward. And the Five of Pentacles is about moving forward, learning the lesson. It's like, I'm going to keep taking stable, abundant action in my life. I'm going to keep offering my self-love, connecting in with the divine so that I stay balanced. And I'm going to keep taking creative, inspired action to become enlightened about love. And people who are emotionally manipulative, people who try to triangulate me with other people to kick up my competitive nature, that's not love. That's emotional manipulation. And you people have detached from this person and you're moving forward because the divine says, keep moving forward in love. Learn the lesson you're meant to learn from this life experience. Keep moving forward. You know, you can keep wishing that person from your past because for some of you, it's an adult child, a parent, a sibling, a coworker, a friend, whoever. You know, you keep wishing them peace because love is the only thing that heals people. But you're not maybe investing your time, energy, and effort with them. But in general, when you see them out in the world, you know, you're respectful. But you're harnessing the energies of, you know, people need to see things from the bigger picture and people need to come from a foundation of love or I'm going to keep moving forward. And in your Capricorn nature, you keep offering in that inner youthful nature of love, you keep offering love to you moving forward and you turn your back on the devil, people who are toxic, selfish, greedy, emotionally manipulative. And you keep putting in the hard work and effort to temper your pride and ego, to be emotionally brave and strong, to see the truth. In the Six of Swords, you see the truth of the Five of Swords. And the Five of Swords are people who have a lot of mental conflict about the truth. Sometimes the Five of Swords can be people who want to win at all costs and I don't care who they hurt. If they're so emotionally defensive of standing up for themselves, of speaking their emotional truth because of other people in their life, or it just causes them a lot of mental conflict, a lot of inner conflict with their pride and ego, it's like, that's okay. I wish you peace, but I'm moving forward. Because you want to be in relationships with people in their Leo energy who are authentically themselves. People who are willing to illuminate the truth. You know, in the sun energy, there's no room for shadows. Relationships with people who are open and honest and authentically themselves. People who aren't creating illusions in relationships because they want to be in a relationship for pride or ego or status or image or self-protectiveness. You know, be open and honest and upfront. Get rid of the shadow side and learn to have good boundaries within yourself so you don't tip into the fear and insecurity. Stay in life-giving energy of love and hope and faith and nurturing. You know, people who actually listen to their heart and their intuition to guide them forward and take action in the world and offer their love to Aquarius energy. Seeing things from a higher perspective. You know, where you offer love to People putting aside their pride and ego, their fear and insecurity for the higher good, the relationship, the family, the work project. But people who are really kind of shadowy or emotionally defensive to being emotionally vulnerable or tapping into their emotions, or they're just really prideful and egotistical, they want to be the center of attention. They're the most important person in any dynamic, and everybody's supposed to orient around them. And some people are willing to let go to cause a tower moment to the divine, basically, you could say. They're willing to bring down a foundation on their own authentic nature because they prefer to present themselves as a loving person in the world, but it's really all about them being the center of attention. So if they get in relationship with people who stand up for themselves, people who speak their emotional truth, people who dream of moving forward and people maturing and growing, this person's like, no, I don't want to do life like that. I'm someone who presents myself as loving and King of Cups Cancer energy. I like to present myself as loving home and family, but really, I like it to be all about me. And I like everyone to orient around me. And I'll just offer my love to someone else who will maybe make me the center of attention, maybe make me look like I'm like a shining star in the 3D world, someone who's willing to work with me emotionally so I look like I'm moving forward in a very successful manner in the world, but I'm really immature and I operate from my pride and ego, and I refuse to see things from anyone else's perspective or see myself and life and the world around me from any other perspective. And they're just, our lower, it's in our shadowy nature that we kind of get in our lower emotions and thoughts like jealousy, envy, pettiness, greed, emotionally manipulating people, thinking it's more important how we present ourselves to the world than being in tune with who we truly are. And yeah, those people could be very envious of other people, very competitive in the 3D world. So yeah, desiring, resentful, disconnected with self, that would be these cards. They reject their soul, their intuition that the divine gave them, keeps trying to tell them to stand up for themselves, to speak their emotional truth. And this person's like, no, I reject listening to my intuition. I am going to defend living life the way I have, which is from pride and ego. I'm going to be emotionally cold and distant to people who dream of me learning my lessons. And I think life's supposed to be about me in my Aquarius energy. And sometimes people, if they're narcissists, when you empower yourself, when you are emotionally balanced, you've looked within yourself to know about the things that trigger you into your fear, your insecurity, your selfishness, or greed. But that's not a great energy to be in. So you kind of try to offset that with being more grounded and practical and believing in yourself so that you're not in those kind of lower vibe emotions. So that, everybody's got different dreams, everybody's got different talents and skills. And you try to see things from the higher perspective that the universe, divine, made us all different for different reasons. And we all have our unique talent, skills, and interests. And when you do that, that's when you can have that peace that surpasses understanding. And you've empowered yourself. But people who really operate from their shadow nature and they don't empower themselves that way in a healthy manner, believing in themselves and, forgiving people of the past that hurt them so that they can move forward in their life and, release the past and move forward, those people can dream of feeling empowered by causing other people inner conflict. It makes them feel powerful by doing things that upset other people. The only thing is, you're codependent on other people for you to feel powerful. Once the people in your life get over the inner conflict or over the competitive energy you kicked up in them, the buzz is gone, per se. If you want to have a lifelong buzz, you live your life in a way that you're proud of. You act with character and integrity. You walk the talk. You're proud of yourself. You nurture yourself. You nurture other people. You're encouraging and supportive of other people. And you always have that within you. Nobody can take that away. But people who dream of causing conflict with other people, they only got the buzz as long as there's other people still in conflict. Once people get over it, it's like, shit. Then I guess they got to go find someone else to take some creative action for in order to move forward with that person and operate from their pride and ego. And hope that that makes other people feel like, ha, I rejected your love. It's like, you can shoot yourself in the foot as many times as you want. This person might be someone, because they're toxic in their Capricorn energy, which can be all those shadowy emotions, they offer their love. They make an emotional offer to people who've been left out in the cold, people who've had to detach from some foundation. They might have offered love to someone else in the past and that relationship didn't work out. And now those people are feeling a little out in the cold, and this person will prey on them to go indulge themselves with that person. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, selfishness, greed, illusion. And when they get in that relationship, they'll put in work and effort to operate from their pride and ego. And if the other people start to get emotionally brave and strong, where they want this person to move forward, this person will move away. It's like, no, gotta leave now. You've become brave and strong, and you want me to move forward. And no, I don't do that. I'm kind of heartless. Brutal, unloving, harsh. I just got into a relationship with you because I wanted to indulge myself, maybe sexually, maybe codependently, for my pride and ego purposes, to look good to the world. I'll put in work and effort with you for a while, but if you ever want me to temper my beastly nature, my prideful nature, my self-protective nature, I'll just move away from you because I don't want to deal with my inner conflict. I operate from pride and ego, and I just work together with people out of my pride and ego because it looks good for me, and I'm immature. So there you go. That's how different people, let's see. You people in their Cancer, Pisces nature could have left the life of an Aries, someone who was maybe kind of immature, prideful, bossy, controlling, who's all about money and image, who maybe triangulated you against a third party. Let's look to see. Yeah, I think the people who went and got in a third party is because they were defensive, because the truth was revealed. You offered these people love, but they reject it because they don't want to learn their lessons. Where are we at? 47 minutes. Let's go see. What lesson did some people not want to learn? They didn't want to learn the lesson that they're supposed to take creative, inspired action to detach from their old ways of being and to nurture themselves. Both Taurus energies here. Taurus energy is about how we view relationships, commitments, marriage, our underlying philosophy of life. They haven't learned the lesson that if they keep taking action, operating only with half of their foundation, and they communicate to get in relationships with people who they're codependent on, those people nurturing them, or those people having stability and security or money or image or status that they want, that they're always going to feel left out in the cold. Sometimes people don't take responsibility for realizing that if you want to quit feeling left out in the cold, it isn't to go to relationship and kind of indulge yourself like a drug in a relationship, hoping magically by being in a relationship with people who are nurturing and loving that you'll magically heal. When you get in those relationships, you're meant to take that opportunity to nurture yourself and grow yourself and mature yourself. And some people never take responsibility for themselves. Some people don't want to see the truth that they take creative action towards nurturing people because they do have maybe this lack mentality of thinking they can't do it on their own, thinking they're codependent on other people to nurture them, to make them feel stable, to make them feel grounded, to make them feel emotionally stable. You're always going to be codependent on other people. You need to learn to value yourself and respect yourself and tap into your own emotions to nurture yourself. We don't stay 5 and 8-year-old children all our life. Eventually we're meant to take over the job of being our own best mother, father, coach, voice in our head. And some people refuse to learn that lesson. Some people because they have a lack mentality, some of them are going to communicate to someone also that they think has money and materialism. And they think if they work together with that person, that they'll be able to work together and everything will go victoriously and they can stay operating from their pride and ego. But the Tower and the Sun and the Aquarius star energy are all universe cards. I think the universe, this is going to be a very unstable foundation. As long as this person is unstable, any relationship they get into is going to be unstable. Because they're not stable within themselves. They're tipped out of balance into, I don't know, not believing in themselves or something. And it's going to be illuminated that they offered their love to someone or had a new emotional beginning with someone just to look like a shining star in the world. So they might approach someone again who's single and stable. But if this person moves forward, this relationship, they're going to feel stuck. If you don't mind feeling stuck all your life, go ahead. But it also might be revealed. And the people who got into a relationship with them might see that this person is kind of lacking in what they contribute to a relationship. Again, the cycle will repeat that someone, if they're not careful, they might get in a relationship with someone who kind of has the same worldly view as them, and it's going to be a relationship that more feels like a job. And this person's going to have to try to be strong about being in it, if they're not willing to see the truth and move forward in their life. If they get in relationships with loving people, the loving people are going to move away from them. If they get in a relationship with someone who's like themselves, well, it's not going to be a very loving relationship. It's going to be kind of toxic. There might be someone right now, maybe the way it works, that if these people reject a loving relationship and they're not really listening to their intuition, there could be someone who is offering them a new emotional beginning who's toxic. That might be karma. Someone who's toxic, controlling, jealous, envious, who puts a lot of work and effort into operating from their pride and ego, who maybe want to win at all costs because they give the impression that they're going to move forward, but then we get down to the Five of Swords again. Someone who could be offering this person a new beginning could be toxic, wants to win at all costs. The third party could have communicated to them, I feel stuck. I want to let go of your past relationship and move forward with me in a new emotional beginning. Because I also operate from lack mentality. I offer my emotions to keep staying in my lack mentality and repeating patterns of the past. Because I'm fearful, I'm insecure, I'm selfish, I'm greedy, I'm emotionally defensive. And I also want you to come get in a relationship with me and put in work with a relationship with me. And I'm going to still operate from my pride and ego, but I'm not willing to move forward either because I want to win at all costs. And maybe the whole reason I'm asking you to come get in a relationship with me is I want to win at all costs. And I just want you to leave the person you're in a relationship, and some people are going to fall for it. So be careful. I did a flip of the quote calendar, and you got, as long as the mind can envision that you can do something, you can do it. As long as you believe it 100%. October 2nd. October is the 10th month of the year. That talks about the end of cycles. And 2 can be about, what are you going to align with? Are you going to align with living more from your mind than your heart? Being in 2 minds about things, and a house divided against itself will not stand. It will be unstable. Or are you going to align with love and self-love? So there you go, Aquarius energies of the world. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.